I want you and my colleagues and the people of America to know what's keeping me awake nights. It's actually thoughts of my grandkids and their future that keeps me awake nights. I see a bleak future for them because of our overspending. Some governments only borrow for long-term infrastructure investments. We borrow for day-to-day expenses. As I mentioned earlier, we could be borrowing to pay our interest on our debt. So the next way to trick hardworking, tax-paying Americans is just to make it a mandatory program. 40 years ago, 30% of the programs were mandatory. We got to make annual decisions on 70% of the money. But because of the expansion of the mandatory programs, 70% of the programs are on autopilot, funded every year without a vote, and we only get to make decisions on 30% of the monies. Everyone wants their favorite program to have dedicated funds, except we don't dedicate funds to it, and we ran out of real money. Mandatory spending used to mean that there was a dedicated stream of money sufficient to cover the costs of the program without dipping into the general fund. So what are you going to tell your grandkids you did to give them opportunities? Do you want to be here to answer for when Social Security is cut by 20% to fund defense because interest payments have to be used up all the money that we get to make decisions on? Can we consolidate programs? Can we be sure they have measurable goals and hold them to achievement? Can we watch regulation to see that it achieves its goal with the minimum of jobs lost? Can we review old programs for elimination or consolidation when we look at new ideas? Can we find ways to fund our ideas without stealing from the future? How will you answer to your grandkids for what you've done?